Before the memory of empires, before the rise of writing, metal, or cities, there was a moment when the world changed forever. Humanity struggled upward, curious, brave, but confused. Tribes wandered, fought, feared, and hoped. And then, guidance came. 500,000 years ago, a mission arrived on Earth. 100 volunteers who came to establish the world's first center of civilization, a city called Dalamatia. On the shores of an ancient sea, this city was built with a purpose both simple and profound: to uplift humanity through knowledge, cooperation, and understanding. They came not as spirits, nor as rulers from above, but as wise and ageless men and women incarnated in human form. Teachers, builders, scientists, counselors, each devoted to the advancement of a struggling world. Their task was extraordinary: to accelerate human progress, to lift struggling tribes toward light and culture, to establish the foundations of civilization itself. Among them were 10 who guided the great divisions of knowledge, the commission leaders. And now, their voices speak again.
I am Aang. I served the foundation of survival. We taught well digging and irrigation, how to guide water instead of waiting for rain. We brought knowledge of food preservation, cooking, drying, smoking. With stored food came security. With security came time to think, to learn, to build. We taught the working of skins for clothing from colder lands, and later the art of weaving. From these foundations, all material progress began.
I am Bon. I was entrusted with teaching humanity how to wisely work with the animal world. We introduced the cow and bred it with care until it became a dependable source of nourishment. We trained oxen to carry the heavy burdens once borne on human backs. We taught selective breeding, choosing for gentle temperament and strength. In this era, humans first put the wheel to use for traction and transport. Trained pigeons carried messages across great distances. There were also the great fandors, enormous passenger birds that once carried riders through the skies. They vanished more than 30,000 years ago, but in those ancient days, humanity knew the experience of flight.
I am Dan. I taught protection. Not all creatures could be befriended, but humans also needed defense against hostile tribes and surprise attacks. We taught defense without fear, hunting strategies, trap construction, improved dwellings. The purpose of an ancient city wall was to protect against ferocious beasts as well as hostile humans. We showed how to drive dangerous predators from settlements and protect what was built. But we also taught respect. Take only what threatens, waste nothing, fear nothing unnecessarily.
I am Fad. I served learning itself. We created the first alphabet, 25 characters to capture thought across time. We wrote on bark, clay, stone, and crude paper made from wasps' nests. In Dalmatia, we built the first library on Earth, the House of Fad, housing more than 2 million records. We trained teachers who trained others, sending them back as emissaries of knowledge. When Dalmatia fell, much was lost. But the idea of preserving knowledge survived in every library that exists today.
I am Nod. I fostered work and exchange. We taught craftsmanship, refining technique, taking pride in work. But more importantly, we taught trade. When groups exchange goods, they build relationships. Trade routes become peace routes. We introduced fair measure, honest dealing. And among our graduates, the first commercial credit. Tokens accepted instead of barter. The world didn't improve on these methods for hundreds of thousands of years.
I am Hap. I taught worship born from gratitude, not fear. We spoke of the Universal Father and taught that true faith strengthens the soul and improves behavior, not through terror, but through love. We gave the people 7 chants of worship and the Father's prayer. Many rejected these teachings, clinging to gods of thunder and blood. But some understood, and from those few, a truer understanding began to grow.
I am Lot. My concern was the body's well-being. We taught sanitation, clean water, waste disposal, quarantine. We instructed in safer childbirth, setting bones, cleaning wounds. We taught that cooking food prevents sickness and reduces infant mortality. We convinced religious teachers to include washing with water in their ceremonies. We introduced handshaking instead of blood exchange as a seal of friendship. Health is the foundation. A sick population cannot learn, cannot build, cannot progress.
I am Mech. I serve beauty and discovery. Art refines the spirit. We encourage creative expression, festivals, music. We taught that beauty binds communities and elevates emotion. We taught observation and experimentation, asking questions about the natural world. We advanced pottery, decorative arts, and the ideals of human beauty. We taught that the universe operates on principles, not whims. Understanding those principles is humanity's birthright.
I am Tut. I brought human society towards civilization. We fostered intertribal marriages and courtship. We refined war dances into social gatherings and introduced competitive games. We promoted peaceful group associations, regulated warfare, coordinated relations between tribes, and improved governance. In the vicinity of Dalamatia, a more advanced culture developed that influenced even remote tribes. We planted the idea that diplomacy could precede warfare.
I am Van. I serve justice for all the councils. We were the court of appeals for the other 9 commissions. Justice was not vengeance, it was balance. We established courts where disputes were settled without bloodshed. We thought that law could replace violence. When rebellion came and the work fractured, the loyal ones among us continued. We never abandoned hope. Justice requires patience. Progress requires faith.
For 300,000 years, this work continued. Graduates traveled outward, teaching remote tribes. Progress was slow, but steady. The city stood as proof of cooperation. A beautiful settlement with 10 subdivisions, each housing one council's headquarters. At the center rose the Temple of the Unseen Father. Students learned by doing, working their way through schools that taught manual skills alongside thinking and character. Within 100 miles, graduates carried forward their training. It was the first true civilization on Earth. But darkness came from within. Prince Caligastia joined a rebellion against higher authority. The 100 faced a fateful choice: loyalty to the mission or revolt with their leader. 60 chose rebellion, 40 chose loyalty. In that division, Dalamatia died, not by violence, but fractured from within. Trust collapsed. The work ceased. Then the sea rose up. A great wave engulfed the city, sweeping it beneath the waters of the Persian Gulf. The first center of civilization vanished beneath the tide. The loyal ones, led by Van and Amadon, retreated and carried on as best they could. But the damage was profound. Knowledge lost, tribes reverted, confusion spread. The great library destroyed, the unified effort shattered. Yet the loyal ones never surrendered. For over 150,000 years, they continued teaching and serving. Van and his companions became legends, remembered as gods and heroes in the myths of many peoples. Nothing they taught was wasted. Every seed of progress bore fruit in time, The alphabet evolved, writing spread, agriculture improved, the ideas of law, trade, education, and divine honor survived. Dalamatia disappeared beneath the waves, but its legacy did not die. This is the lost history of Urantia, Earth's forgotten dawn, revealed at last. Every time we teach a child, we echo fad. Every time we heal the sick and preserve life, we continue the mission's teachings on health and well-being. Every time we create beauty, we honor Mech. Every time we choose justice over vengeance, we vindicate Van. Every time we trade instead of raid, we fulfill the dream of peaceful exchange first planted in those ancient days. The mission wasn't completed, but it was never abandoned. Those 100 teachers came 500,000 years ago, yet their input remains with us still. Across endless ages of flood, forgetfulness, and confusion, the seeds they sowed survived. In every library, every act of kindness, every spark of genius, every moment we choose to lift each other up. They taught us we could be more. And even now, generation by generation, their quiet influence endures, proving them right, one enlightened step at a time.